You want to know why Venom Let There Be Carnage was a bad movie? It's because of this. This and not enough this. I'm sorry, guys. This channel is definitely not for kids. I always put it like that. This is definitely a channel for adults. Marvel and Sony really need to step up the maturity level when it comes to making movies with characters like Venom and Carnage. Especially Carnage. Carnage, my first time seeing him on film, it was not good. Now, as for the design, the CGI, the look of Carnage was absolutely perfect. That's the thing. Perfect design. They designed him on target in the movie. Perfect look. CGI was perfect. They got the look right. But as for Carnage in general, the action, him, I didn't get the vibe of Carnage. Meaning, I wasn't afraid enough. So, here's the thing. When I see a movie with Carnage in it, after everything I've read about Carnage, comic book wise, and the research I've done on Carnage, this dude is fucking crazy. Like, I want to see a whole murder movie. This cannot be a PG-13 movie. I'm sorry. I know Marvel wants to entertain everybody, but there's some things, some characters just need that R rating. Some characters cannot be PG-13. And Carnage is definitely one of them. And one of the issues of the new movie, Blade, coming up, Mahershala Ali has a problem with the script. This movie has to be R-rated. So I think Sony and Marvel needs to loosen up on this rating thing. Because this is a Sony movie, not a Marvel movie. But they're both kind of having the same idea when it comes to their releases. This movie did not do it for me. Usually when I have mixed feelings walking out the theaters, it does not end up good. Never. When I walk out the theater smiling, it always turns out good. When I have mixed feelings, it usually goes to bad. This one did not do it. Most of the movie, Eddie and Venom were fighting each other. Venom complaining about eating heads. What the hell? Is this even interesting? So far, what I got out of this story, Eddie is investigating this guy in jail, Carnage, Cletus Cassidy. He's investigating and interviewing Cletus Cassidy, wants to get him on the paper. Later on, he's fighting with Venom about not eating heads. So far throughout the movie, then Cletus bites him and becomes Carnage. He kills and goes to find his love and stuff. I didn't get enough action with Carnage. I didn't get enough Carnage in this movie. That's my number one problem. Like, not even that. It's a lot of big problems. Too many jokes. Too many jokes. I'm done with the jokes. I'm very pissed off with that. Here's the thing. This is one of those movies that I want to love so much, but I just can't because it let me down. It's like, yo, this is Carnage. This is a Venom movie. I want to love this shit. It's the first time seeing Carnage in a movie. I just have to love it. But it's like, yo, the writing in the movie was so bad. It's like, yo, what happened? What did they do wrong? Why is this such a bad film? And why is nobody saying anything about it? That's the thing. One of the things I've noticed lately is even people on YouTube, like it's a lot of people on YouTube that's like not saying stuff about the current issues that Sony and Marvel have, despite being very successful. Now DC, yeah, they're just being stupid right now. DC, at this point, I'm not worried about DC because of the fact that they're going to go out of business. So I know for a fact that DC is going to do well, because they have to take some shit seriously. DC, I'm not worried about what they're doing. If they keep it up with the jokes and the dumb stuff, they will go out of business. So I know James Gunn is tweaking that crap. So I'm not worried about what DC's got going on. They are good because they're about to go out of business. They're in the mindset of getting things spot on. Marvel, they at the top. They on the throne. They think they can play around. They think they can play around and do whatever they want. They think they can stretch their wings a little bit, let loose a little bit, put some jokes in there. It's not funny. This is not comedy. I don't want to watch these movies for comedy. I'm sorry. It's not that I'm a bitter person or I don't have a sense of humor. I have a big sense of humor. But I like watching action movies because there is high stakes. High stakes, meaning this is not a game. We need to get this stuff together. And Carnage, bro, this is a freaking murderer, a mass murderer. This should have been a horror movie. Venom Let There Be Carnage should have been a thriller, a horror thriller, action horror thriller. That's what this should have been. A rated R action horror thriller. Absolute terror. I didn't feel no terror from Carnage. I didn't feel that. I'm like, oh, Carnage just is on a rampage. He's just trying to kill Venom. I didn't get that vibe. I didn't get that scariness from Carnage. I want to see that. The fact that I didn't get that pissed me off. They didn't do Carnage right. Visually, yes, spot on. This is exactly how I would picture Carnage in a movie. Perfect. Perfect. Got the black on his face, got the tongue right, the teeth right, the redness right, the bloody looking red spots right, got all of that right. Could be a little bit more realistic. It did look a little too cartoonish, but they still got it right. As for the story, as for the feel of the movie, of how scary and what the stakes are in this movie, this was not it. For real, this was just a goofball movie. The main things I can remember from Venom 2. Here are the main things I can remember from this movie. Venom and Eddie are fighting because Eddie doesn't want Venom to bite people's heads off. What else? Cletus is in jail, about to get executed. Eddie wants to get some information, talk to him, and Cletus bites him and becomes Carnage and goes on a rampage. That's it. I don't remember anything good about this movie. It definitely wasn't this bitch. This, I don't know, screaming person. I forgot what her name was. I know I gotta look it up again, but she was not memorable. She wasn't memorable. And okay, just another ex-girlfriend there to support Eddie. Eddie, goofball, doing as usual. Venom, crazy, trying to bite people's. I can't remember nothing good about this movie. And the thing is, I want to love this movie. I want to love it so much, but I just can't because it wasn't done right. Carnage needs to be done right. Not to mention that Carnage was killed off. He can't fight Spider-Man now. Like I said, again, the multiverse is at stake, yes. But we got enough people dying and coming back already. You're not Loki. Loki is the king of dying and coming back, as well as Jesus. Okay? You can't just do this with everybody. You can't just do this with everybody. Oh, he'll be back. We're doing that a little too much with Marvel. You cannot do that with everybody. It doesn't work with everybody. The multiverse, you can't abuse the multiverse with killing off characters. Now you can do a multiverse story where they get killed off, or, you know, you can do that, but Is this going to happen in the MCU? Who's going to be Carnage in the MCU to fight Peter? I want to see a Venom and Carnage versus Spider-Man, or a Peter and Venom versus Carnage, because for real, in the comics, Peter and Venom team up to stop Carnage. We can't get that. Or will we? And if they're going to do it, how? How? Now, I don't blame the writer's strike. I really don't blame the writer's strike, because these writers are horrible. Who wrote this film? Who wrote this film? I don't blame the writers for going on strike. I don't blame the writers for being a bad writer. They're not paying these writers enough. They're not. This movie was horrible. I want to love it, but I can't because it was bad. So this needs to be fixed. How could they have done this better? I like Venom more than Venom 2. I like the first one. The first one was great. I don't care what nobody says. A lot of people talk shit about the first Venom movie, but that one is amazing. That one was a basic, great movie. This one, they took a step further downhill. They went downhill with this one. Nope. I don't like it. And I want to like it because Carnage is I really wanted to like this movie. I just can't. So Marvel and Sony, this is your the biggest fuck ups. Like I said, Marvel and Sony is doing great. They're doing great. Financially, they're doing great. But this is a major fuck up. Major fuck up. Right here. This is the thing. Marvel's at the throne, but they're making major fuck ups. And it's not doing them right. They could have made really good money off of Carnage. They could have did a long story along the line with Carnage versus Venom. In fact, maybe Carnage, you know what? I'm gonna do a whole story of how Carnage should have been done in this movie. Because, I actually have a story of how the Snyderverse could have been saved. You can watch that. I'll have it at the end of the video. The Snyderverse and everything. I have a story of how they could have saved the Snyderverse and how they would have started their new universe by saving it. So, I have ideas. So I'm going to do a video explaining what they could have done to Carnage to make more money in a better story that involves Spider-Man in the sequel. This wasn't a good movie. I didn't like it. But anyways, this stuff gotta stop. Y'all like, comment, and subscribe. What's your thoughts? Venom 2, did you like it? I didn't. I want to, but I can't.